this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Pressure has a way of revealing what remains steady. In the latest Nissan campaign, the Nissan Rogue was tested to the extreme to demonstrate that it's built to last through durability and reliability challenges inspired by real tests conducted by Nissan engineers. Brutal potholes, a steady force of water, even a jet-powered sandstorm. Each challenge inviting a deeper look at how quality, durability, and reliability hold their ground in real-world conditions. Every test was 100% real. No CG, no AI. To see how the Rogue held up, visit Nissan-durability.com.
Back to school is here, and Target has everything families need to help head into the school year feeling confident and ready to do their thing. From school supplies and stylish apparel to accessories kids actually want, Target makes it easy to check every box on your list at a great value. We're talking backpacks starting at just $5 and up to 60% off school supplies. Plus, kids can express their style with brands and collabs they love like Love Shack Fancy, Cat and Jack, Overtime, and customizable Owala bottles with stickers, charms, and much more. The prices parents want and the brands kids love, all in one place at Target.
This July 4th at Lowe's, get up to 45% off select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on a select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowes.com for more details.
Visit your nearby Lowe's on East 17th Avenue in Hutchinson.
Hey everyone, it's Cal Penn. I'm inviting you to join the best-sounding book club you've ever heard with my podcast, Hearsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club. Every episode, I nerd out with amazing guests and dive into the best new audiobooks available on Audible. It's the book club for your ears. Listen to Hearsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the Black Mother Wound Podcast, a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is that you are listening to this episode. I am sandwiched in between two fans because even with the air blowing, it is hotter than monkey nuts down here in South Carolina. You hear me? As a woman who has always loved the heat, always loved the summer, always hated the winter time, I'm kind of ready for summer to be over. Like, I feel like it's been too hot for too long, and I don't know if it's age, because I'm saying that because I've also been hot flashing. I thought it was the heat, and maybe, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe it's not the heat, maybe it's the hot flashes, because baby, they have started, and it's like a ball of fire that sits in my chest. No, that's not in my chest. In the middle of my body toward my back, because my back gets hot first. And it feels like somebody has turned on an iron on high. And then the heat just expands throughout my body. And it could come at any time. But I do also realize it's attached to my emotions. It's like if I get nervous or anxious or upset or thinking too hard or stressed, it's like my body will start to overheat, y'all. So keep me in prayer, and anybody that's got any nuggets of support or help, any natural remedies, please share them with your girl so I can make the best of this, because I think I'm at the beginning of this journey. I think I'm at the beginning, and I'm going to need help making it through this goddamn summer. But yes, that's what's going on over here outside of regular life stuff. I am also prepping for, we're 2 weeks out for the live podcast recording event. Please, if you don't have your ticket yet, if you're in Charlotte and you want to come see me do a live podcast with audience, okay? Audience Q&A is a part of the podcast. You're not just going to be watching and listening to me talk. this is a conversation that we'll be having. If you're in Charlotte or can get to Charlotte on July 18th, click the link in the show notes so you can get a ticket, because it's going to be so good. So I've done some stuff with that this past week. So that has been great. I'm really excited about having this community in person, and it's not big. I'm not trying to do a lot of people right now. I really like a small, intimate space. You know, us kind of borderline introverted, socially awkward people who are just getting used to having, people around and just getting used to community. I'm like sticking my toe in the water because I easily get overwhelmed, but I still want to see folks. So I've been working on that. But yeah, if you want to hang out for the afternoon, you should get a ticket and come see me, because it's going to be really, really good. But that's what's been on my plate this past week. Today, I want to talk about something that, of course, I'm working on. And I'm realizing, even with all of the work that I have done in healing my mother wound, that there's so much more. And I'm just now getting to a place where I feel what I think is safe enough to really uncover who I really am. Meaning, my identity has been shaped by the relationship with my mother and by her. And I think, like right now in this moment, I want to say, like, I know who I am, but honestly, I don't. It's like I'm breaking open this thing between my genuineness and this thing about me that's true, but still is masked and cloaked in some form of performance and adaptation due to the ways in which I don't feel completely safe. So I guess it's what I want to talk about. How do I have it written down? It's undoing who our mother taught us to be. And it's such a slippery slope because you've been this way your whole life. And it's like you got to think back and say, how was I before I was indoctrinated into the cult of daughter, And I have to go really far back. And I think that people just tend to believe that I am so outgoing, so comfortable with myself. I have so much confidence because I'm outspoken, right? But y'all are probably getting 40%. There's so much more to me. And I think I have found even in doing this work, even though it's still, there's a level of taboo to it and people aren't really digging into relationships between Black mothers and their daughters. Because I have been talking about it for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, seems like. I don't even know when I started now. I have taken something that felt scary and made it very safe for me. So it's like, oh, she can talk about this. She can talk about anything. She, wears her hair blonde. She curses, look at, she dresses sexy. All these things is like, oh, she does what she wants to do. But I'm having to come to terms with how much of myself that I'm still hiding. And hiding things doesn't mean that they're, outside the box, or they necessarily have to be bold things. Some of them are, but I guess I only think of them as being bold because I believe I won't be accepted for them. And that lets me know, oh, bitch, you got a lot more work to do. So I wanted to talk about that today because I think there's a framework that I'm working through for really coming back to myself and my true identity. And at 51 years old, I feel desperate to get back to this because, see, I already feel like crying. There is so much grief I have for the life I've lived that wasn't me. How long I lived not being true to who I was. How many experiences I missed out on because I was trying to be the woman my mother wanted me to be, and fighting against my own natural nature and calling who I am bad and who she raised me to be as good. And I'm going to tell you, this shit is fucking hard because being who she wanted me to be is how I was safe. That's how I stayed alive. And even though I was an adult, it was still how I stayed alive. I see my mother, and I think a lot of Black mothers are this. Even me as a Black mother, I am this. I'm a survivalist. It's like the number one goal is survival. It's not happiness. It's not joy. It's not peace. It's not love. It's survival. And when being yourself, the idea of being yourself is rooted in survival, it makes you look at people and the world as your adversary, as dangerous. And it creates a certain defensiveness that I think a lot of Black women have. I know that I have. And it's not even anything personal against anybody. It is just this vigilance, this hyper awareness that I have that is followed by a level of aggressiveness. And it is something that at times is very useful and very valuable. But it's also like the sword that I cut myself with. It is also the sword I cut my son with. And I'm really working to undo that. And I'm accepting at this season in my life that I may get to the end of my life and still be on that journey. And that is upsetting to me. That is very hurtful to me because like what I think in my mind is like, what is the fucking point then if you're never going to get there? And I know you want to say, well, be positive, God makes a way, da 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 da. That voice, that comment comes from who my mother would want me to be. She would want me to answer that way. Our mothers would want us to answer that way. But me being me, I'm finally giving myself this opportunity to have grief, to have anger, to have sorrow, to have this resentment about what I didn't get. Now, this episode isn't about what I didn't get, but it is about how what we didn't get is so closely tied to us not having an authentic identity. And even if you really do know who you are, it doesn't mean you're going to get everything. But at least you can go back and be like, that was on me. That was my bad, not my mama's bad. And I'm finding I'm having more joy, more peace, more love, more creativity, more innovation in my own life when I have the courage, because I don't always have the courage, to peek my head out and do what's right for me. Actually, in all actuality, that shit feels scary as fuck in the moment. But I've built enough muscle that I know, but you're just gonna have to do it. And there's like a list of things that I know I'm going to be having to do. Well, I shouldn't say I have to do, but that I know are in alignment with my most authentic self. And today I just want to talk about kind of what that framework looks like and how it comes to be in order to be able to drop into your authentic identity. You need safety. 2, you need to reparent your inner child, and you have to have community, right? And these are components of reparenting. But I want to talk about it from the framework of how we have to undo who she taught us to be, and how much of our identity belongs to us versus who she wanted us to be and who we had to be in order to feel safe. And your inner child, she's not missing. It's not like, well, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. You do know, but you don't have the access to her. You don't have access to her right now. The safer we become, the easier it is for her to kind of just come to the surface, because she knows her head's not going to get fucking chopped off. For me, I think about I probably, up until age 5, I can see that girl. She is wild. She is loud. She is creative. She is curious. She loves a bang. That girl loves a good bang. She loves a good crop top. She loves a good cutoff short and some cowgirl boots. She is, I'm going to say this word. I don't mean this word as a negative. I mean this in the most empowering way. She was a young hoochie. She was born a hoochie mama. You understand what I'm saying? And part of it is in my bloodline. Part of it is my culture. Part of it is how I grew up watching Wonder Woman and Daisy Duke and what is the not Soul Train, Solid Gold. Watching the dance show Solid Gold. That's who I wanted to be. And then you sprinkle in some Whoopi Goldberg on Broadway, her first HBO special. And then you sprinkle in a little more Diana Ross live at Madison Square Garden. That is the little girl. That was her. That was who she was. And that's who I'm working to get back to. And to be raised in basically a fucking cult, Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. Okay. What was the name? C.N. Adams Street Church of God in Fayetteville, North Carolina, over there by the Sizzler. Having to sit in the 11 o'clock service on the second pew with my mother at 4 and 5 and 6 years old, not allowed to go to Sunday school. I'm assuming because she needed me to hear the full word to get into my spirit, because she was trying to get that hoochie mama out. And hearing that the rapture is coming, you don't know when, that Jesus is like a thief in the night, that he's going to come and get the good Christians and everybody else will be left behind. So when I talk about safety, I'm talking about believing in my heart of hearts as a little girl that I was going to be left on this planet alone, because for sure my mother was going up in the rapture. For sure she was going. And I wasn't sure I was going because I didn't know if I really understood all this stuff that was being said. All of these that don't lie, I knew not to kill, but then I thought, what if I kill a plant or a bug? Don't steal, don't cheat, don't covet, 10 commandments, all of these things that I'm in the audience listening. So I'm thinking they apply to me. And my deep fear, the religious trauma of thinking that I'm going to be abandoned and left to take care of myself and fend for myself because I wasn't good enough to get into heaven is a motherfucker that still haunts me to this day, even though I logically know it's not true. I think in my heart I know it's not true, but the conditioning was so superior in nature that it created something in me that it didn't matter who I am as a person. Fuck identity. Of course, I didn't have that language back then, but it was, you just need to do what you have to do so you're not alone. So you don't get left here with the Antichrist. And then you got to pick the Antichrist, or the Antichrist is going to kill you. I'm telling you for real, these were the movies they showed us. When Jesus comes back, the Antichrist is going to come. And either you pledge to the Antichrist and be able to live on earth with him and all the people that worship him, or you denounce the Antichrist and you are killed. And being literally killed is the only way you can go to heaven, and then I can be with my mother.
Back to school shopping is about more than just checking off a list. It's about helping kids feel confident walking into a new school year. Whether it's a favorite notebook, a cool backpack, or the perfect pair of shoes, Target is there to make a big difference. Target is showing up for families this back to school season with a huge variety of school supplies, apparel, and accessories that help kids do their thing and express their personal style. And with low prices all season long, parents can feel good about getting everything they need at a great value. Think backpacks starting at just $5 and save up to 60% on school supplies. Plus, Target has the brands and collaborations kids are excited about, including Love Shack Fancy, Cat and Jack, Overtime, and even personalized Awala bottles with stickers, charms, and more. With the prices parents want and the brands kids love, Target has everything you need for back-to-school shopping all in one place. Because when kids feel confident heading into the school year, parents feel good too.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. Zero tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab, and this message is brought to you by Simple Mills. On our show, we talk a lot about strategies like temptation bundling and implementation intentions, those research-backed ways to make good habits stick. And there's some powerful evidence to suggest that the right snack can also support the other habits you're trying to build. Take a snack like Simple Mills. Their almond flour crackers are made with almond flour, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds. Simple Mills refers to their almond flour crackers as sunshine in every bite. And there is truth to that. It's a snack that lifts you up instead of weighing you down. And if you haven't tried them yet, Simple Mills Pop-Ums are light, airy, cheese-puffed crackers made with vegetables. A quick crunch like that can reinforce the habit loop without sabotaging your energy. Find Simple Mills at your grocery store.
Hey everyone, it's Cal Penn, host of Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club. This week on the podcast, I'm sitting down with Divergent author Veronica Roth to talk about her sprawling new novel, Seek the Traitor's Son. It's a sci-fi fantasy epic about two protagonists on opposite sides of a war and a prophecy neither of them wanted.
My first book was Divergent, and when that came out, because it was so popular, I think it attracted mostly positivity, but the negativity I sucked in like a sponge. And I think it was critiques of things I liked when I was I was 23 and I wrote this book and it had all my dorky little cheesy or maybe unrealistic loves in it. Sure. And I started to feel a lot of shame about those things. And so for the rest of my career, I steered away from those little things that make you feel pleasure when you read. But I also was saying no to these parts of myself that I then was screw it. Yeah. So that's this book.
Listen to Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
So this undoing for me is really fucking hard. I don't know what it looks like for you. I don't know how badly you were scared into not being yourself. But for me, and it's so crazy because I'm like, God damn, this broad could have picked anything. She had a hoochie mama for a daughter out the womb. For you to pick this? And I think my mother was a hoochie mama. I think she was a natural born hoochie mama. And things didn't work out for her. And she took that to mean she couldn't be herself anymore. So when she had me and she saw the mirror reflecting back, she was like, oh, not on my watch. Because, my mother didn't get saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost until she was pregnant with me right around the time I was being born. And I think when she saw she had a daughter, it was like, oh, hell no. We're going to strip her of everything to save her, because that was how my mother survived. And now me moving from being a survivalist to knowing who I am, it is so fucking hard, y'all. When I tell you, with every layer I pull back, that there's something else. And that even though I'm a grown 51-year-old, I still have the fear of punishment. I still have the fear of being abandoned. I do have the fear, I don't know if it's of God's wrath, but I feel like I want to say things not working out, but that is God's wrath. If you really want something to happen and that doesn't happen, it's like, oh, am I being punished for that? Is there something else possibly waiting that I should be doing and not trusting who I am and stay the course of trying to be a good person instead and changing myself? Like, should I stay with that? Like, I'm 51 and I don't think that is the case, but it's been embedded in me so deeply that it's not like, oh yeah, well, I'll just switch up and do something else. I'm going to jump into being myself. And I know why this work is scary. I'm not even going to hold you and say like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, I am saying that there's shit you do need to do. But I want to acknowledge the secret fear, because another part of us not being able to be ourselves is we don't get to be scared. We have to act like we got it and we know it. And I guess instead of talking about all the ways you can be yourself, I want to acknowledge the fear. I want to acknowledge the apprehension, because I have conversations with people about the things they see in me. And girl, you could do this and you could do that. And I know what they're saying is true. And I can tell them, about kind of my programming and why it's not, and the fear isn't, but they're like, girl, just do it. And if it was that motherfucking easy, don't you think I would have motherfucking done it? And I can even see the ways I hold my own self back, because I know the work. Like being self-aware does not mean that you can just easily change your behavior. Self-awareness is a logical thing. It's in your brain, but our lives don't move logically. They move with the path of least resistance and the most safety. And I really want to acknowledge how hard it is to live in two worlds. A world of healing your mother wound and realizing you don't know who the fuck you are, and how much time you have spent being something else for someone else, and it not panning out the way you want, but it's still being the framework that you know. And it's like the devil is better than the devil you don't know. And then you come to realize the devil you do know is not better. So now you got to get to know a new motherfucking devil. Even though it's not a devil, it feels like it. How hard that is. And so I want you to give yourself some grace. I want you to, when we talk now, this is the only time I would say talk about forgiveness. And it's not about forgiving her, our mother, because really this shit pisses me off all over again. But forgiving ourselves for not knowing, forgiving ourselves for not being able to be who we are, forgiving ourselves for having to survive. You know, it's almost like, what's that syndrome when you fall in love with your captor? It's like having to accept that and know that some things may not go back to the normal way they were. And that is hard as fuck. And that is why if I'm gonna talk about forgiveness, I would say in forgiving ourselves. But if you want to be mad at your mother, I would say go for it for however long you want. If you want to rage out against whoever it is, because we were robbed of a life. And for y'all that are listening, in my case also, she didn't come back around to say, I'm going to fix this with you. I'm going to make it right. It's like, no, I'm going to leave this shit where the fuck it is and go on about my business, which is really fucked up. But I want you to kind of just sit with that. I don't even want you to do anything to, I fuck the notes that I had. I don't even want you to be in this space of, how can I fix it? How can I be more myself? Because that's what I was going to talk about. But there's a level of bypassing in that I feel now. And I'm, even in this moment, having to just sit with the sadness of having to live a life that wasn't mine and that I don't get another one. Because I'm hoping that grief and sadness can be used as gold, as a way to transmute my own life and show me the importance of being true to myself and becoming, I don't want to say becoming, returning to the rawest form of who I am. Because that's really where I am right now, y'all. And it's just so much. And I feel like I've been talking about it for the last year and a half. And that's how fucking hard it is. I'm doing the work, but it is still, I still can look at myself and be like, oh girl, yeah, you got so much further to go. You got so much further to go. And I know I'm not saying that to knock myself, but it is just the reality. And maybe a part of the process is the grief and the sorrow of having to accept what we didn't get, who we weren't able to be, and the possibility that we still might not be able to be her because of how deeply entrenched we are in fear and how we are still in the cult of survivorship and being survivalist as our skill set. So yeah, if that resonates with you, I hope this gives you something soft and warm to lay on. You know, sometimes I'd be splashing y'all with cold water, but I would rather you have something warm this time to lean on, to lay on, because you for one, you definitely can't punish yourself or beat yourself up into returning to yourself and knowing your authentic identity. So maybe this is a part of the process, and maybe this is a part of the homework for all of us this week and, you know, the weeks to come, is the mourning process and the soothing and the patience and the compassion that we should have for ourselves because it was so out of our fucking control. And it's such a long way back to center for some of us. It's such a fucking long way. And it's like, is it even worth it? Because I'm tired. I believe it's worth it. I absolutely, at this point, I'm so deep in it, I have no choice but to keep going. And I hope that you are there with me. You know I love you deeply. And I want the best for you. I want the best for this community. And I'm just sending you lots of love and lots of hugs because I know this work is hard as a motherfucker. It really is. And don't let nobody tell you it's not, or don't let anybody tell you what you should be doing and know you could do this and you got this and you wasting your time. And they don't know what we had to do to make it this far, bitch. They don't fucking know. So nobody gets to say what you need to do right now. Nobody gets to say that. Okay. I love you dearly. Don't let nobody play in your fucking face, including you. I will see you next week. Best to you. Again, live podcast recording happening in Charlotte, July 18th. Come holler at me. Click the link in the show notes and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and make sure you comment, subscribe, and rate the show. You can keep the conversation going over on IG at Black Mother Wound and click the link in the show notes to download the free Mother Wound Healing Guide. See you next week.
Back to school is here, and Target has everything families need to help head into the school year feeling confident and ready to do their thing. From school supplies and stylish apparel to accessories kids actually want, Target makes it easy to check every box on your list at a great value. We're talking backpacks starting at just $5 and up to 60% off school supplies. Plus, kids can express their style with brands and collabs they love like Love Shack Fancy, Cat and Jack, Overtime, and customizable Owala bottles with stickers, charms, and much more. The prices parents want and the brands kids love, all in one place at Target.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab, and this message is brought to you by Simple Mills. Simple Mills packs nutrient-dense ingredients into snacks that taste amazing, like their cheesy light and airy Pop-Ums, or their 5 different delicious flavors of almond flour crackers, lifting you up, never weighing you down, so you can keep shining through the day. You could say Simple Mills is the feeling of the sun in a snack. Find Simple Mills at your grocery store.
Hey everyone, it's Cal Penn. I'm inviting you to join the best-sounding book club you've ever heard with my podcast, Hearsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club. Every episode, I nerd out with amazing guests and dive into the best new audiobooks available on Audible. It's the book club for your ears. Listen to Hearsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The game started. Call your dad.
I'm on it, Ma. Hola, Pa.
Hello, hijita. I can't hear you. I'm at the stadium in Monterrey.
Hear shout goal together. Get nonstop talk, text, and data in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada with T-Mobile, America's best network. Switch on the T-Life app or on T-Mobile.com/connectate. On qualifying plans, not for extended international use. You must reside in the U.S. In primary usage must occur on our network. Best based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.